All right, I got a few requests from a couple of brothers in the comments for me to speak on this Andre Iguodala situation. I know I'm a little late with it, but it's really never too late, for people's thoughts to come out. So I'm going to address this situation. It's probably going to be more than one part because I want to incorporate a couple of different conversations from a couple of different forums. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Inside the NBA one, I guess, and then again they're covering the NCAA tournament anyway. But I may start to incorporate some of their conversations when they're speaking on something relevant. But let's see what these people are gonna have to say about this.
Warriors forward Andre Iguodala repeatedly used a racial epithet in reply to a reporter's question about what led to a loss at Minnesota on Friday night. Take a listen.
Yep, they want them. I'm gonna give y'all dumb.
Only a dumb nigga will give you dumb nigga.
Anything else? Yes. What would dumb say?
I guess you'd have to be a dumb nigga to know.
Just play harder. Figure it out. Change gonna come. Ain't that what we should say? Yeah. Change gonna come.
First of all, let me say this before they get to the talking forum. For somebody to come out and speak like that and use those type of terms, there's no way that you're going to tell me that you got in front of a group of reporters, the majority of them Caucasian, and you decided that you was going to use the term dumb nigga, and you were totally unaware that it was going to make any waves at all. That's like the equivalent of a professional athlete getting on camera in front of reporters and saying, you know what would a dumb faggot say? You already know that certain words in this modern day society are trigger words for the liberal media. So you knew that it was going to cause a ripple. Sometimes, like if you ever watch a movie about like bank robberies, sometimes they'll show the people that are being held in the bank hostage. They'll do a little, they'll do something. They'll make like a sign or a signal to try to alert people that are outside that something's going on the inside. And that's what I believe that was, honestly. I believe that was a subliminal or subconscious fire signal or bank robbery signal that was let out by Andre Iguodala. Something's going on in that locker room. Something's going on in that organization that's going to come out down the line. Not now, but down the line. Because there's no way in the world that you make statements like that and don't think that there's going to be some type of effect. But anyway.
Was it planned that you guys would take tomorrow off? You and a couple of us would take tomorrow's game off. Was that already planned?
We taking tomorrow off?
You, Steph, Dre, and Clay.
Nope, no proof. Do what Master say.
Now, he claims that statement has nothing to do with Steve Kerr. But who else is the one deciding that they're not going to play tomorrow? Right? Steve Kerr is the one who decides if they're going to play. So when he says, I do what Master say, he's talking about Steve Kerr. Now, he can come back and say, well, me and Steve Kerr have a great relationship. I was just joking. I have a hard time believing that he did not know that there would be some blowback to both him and Steve Kerr. Unless he's just an idiot. The liberal media vouches for his intelligence. But then again, we have to be wary about who the liberal media says is intelligent, because we know that intelligence in the liberal media, what that really means. So let's see what transpires. So let's see what they're gonna come up with in their talking points.
Iguodala's remarks led to an interesting discussion between our Sage Steele, Michael Wilbon, and Jalen.
And they have Iguodala posing the still picture like he's under arrest or at the mercy of the cops. Or maybe he's at the mercy of the liberal media.
Jalen Rose on Saturday night's NBA Countdown show. Now, all three had very different takes.
Everything has context. Andre Iguodala does like to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll call one of us over to the locker and go, watch this. He's a guy who likes to needle. He's a smart guy.
He said he's a guy who likes to needle, a smart guy. Well, normally intelligent guys, even though intelligent people are known for having a biting sense of humor, when you constantly like to needle people, that's not normally necessarily associated with intelligence. That could be also associated with being insecure or just being a bully. But it's interesting that he associated needling with being a smart guy.
Is it a big deal? To me, not at all.
It's never a big deal to me to see a black person use the N-word. As I started to get older, as someone that had used it for so very long, I not only stopped using it, I also stopped cursing. I also didn't like the N-word, how I was using it, because to me, it made people around me that were not black uncomfortable.
Well, kudos to you for maturing enough to know that you should not use that type of terminology around so-called non-black people. So good for you, brother.
Because to me, if we don't want them to use the word and we're going to get truly offended by it, then we probably, if we're going to use the word, should use it amongst ourselves.
Exclusively.
Exclusively.
Microphones in the face like last night is a very different situation. And I think yeah, and we've disagreed about this for years and we always will, and that's fine. To me, to your point, Jalen, it's
Well, of course, you're going to disagree with them for years because we already know you. We know that you're married to a Caucasian man. We know that you're the product of a biracial, so-called biracial union. For those who don't know, her father's a so-called black man. Her mother's a so-called white woman. So she's the product of modern day globalist liberal America. She's like came straight out of a test tube. So we already know that her allegiances are split. They're dual, and therefore her mentality, what comes out of her brain, out of her mouth, really can't be trusted in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that from a racial standpoint. I'm just saying that just from a general standpoint. She does not even understand. She does not even understand what she should think or what she should say. Anybody who ever listens to many of the products of multiracial unions talking about particularly so-called American black and so-called American white, especially the females, they normally have a lot of mental issues. All right, see Halle Berry, see Mariah Carey, so on and so forth. They have a lot of self-image problems that they try to compensate for, normally by running to so-called white men. All right, but that's another topic for another day.
it's hypocritical if we are so upset with the use of this word by people who don't look like us. The historical perspective, the ugliness of the word, what it stands for.
You have no idea what the word means. You have no idea what it stands for. You only know what the term has come to mean from a subconscious level. All right. The word nigger has taken on a power of its own, almost on a hypnotic level. The word has taken on a life of its own. Most people do not know what the word means. They don't know where it comes from. They don't know how it they don't know how it transformed. They don't know how it evolved. They don't know anything. They just go by what the media tells you about how the word makes people feel allegedly and how it should make people feel and who should and shouldn't use it, yada, yada, yada. But no, the other races, no, they should not be using that term at all because it doesn't apply to them. The same way that, two black men are not going to call each other paisan. The Italians call each other paisan. If you as a black man walked up to an Italian man and called him paisan, he would look at you like a fool, right? Why is that? Because that is a colloquialism that's basically for them, and that's fine, right? Just like you might have two women today, they might call each other bitch. Oh, what's up, bitch? Okay, bitch, right? If you as a man call a woman a bitch, how is she going to take it? She's going to take it a certain type of way, right? There are colloquialisms that are based normally within your group, whatever group that may be, social, racial, gender-wise, what have you. Right? So this not the word nigger being exclusively usable for just so-called black people. That's not a strange phenomenon. We see that amongst other groups. It's just that the so-called black man is he's an obsessive force for other races. They don't like anything to be exclusively used by just so-called black men.
Or is disgusting. It's a double standard that I don't agree with.
Three people I have a lot of respect for, three people with very different takes. Max, who do you agree with here?
Well, my own opinion comes closest to Hewing, to Jalen's opinion. Mm-hmm. But let me say this.
Notice he said you and Jalen's opinion. I tell you, whatever Jalen think is what she think. He must be handling his business.
Is there a double standard? Yeah, of course there's a double standard. Of course there's a double standard. Just as there's been a double standard in American life for black people.
Uh-oh. Cue the white liberal rant.
Starting with the Middle Passage onto slavery, that was a double standard. Jim Crow was a double standard. Segregation was a double standard. Discrimination in housing, hiring, school, education, all those were double standards.
I love when these white liberals go on these black consciousness rants. You know, one of my favorite scenes in the movie Braveheart is right before the first battle when they're on the battlefield and William Wallace tells the English captain, he says, you know what? Lower your flags. And as you pass by every Scottish home, apologize for 100 years of theft, rape, and murder. All right? You know, if you do that, you'll survive. You do it not, and you'll die today. All these white liberals, if they're so remorseful about the Middle Passage and all these other things, empty your bank accounts. All of you empty your bank accounts and give everything in your bank accounts and all your equities and all your commodities and everything that you own. Give it to every black person, that so-called black person that you see. And then leave America and go back to the Caucasus Mountains. We all know that that's a ludicrous sentiment. That's not going to happen. So why the wordplay?
These double standards have existed for black people throughout the history of this country in all aspects of American life. So is there now a double standard in terms of language? Yeah. And that's a good thing. Now, I'll say this. There is a presumption when you're watching a post-game presser, I think, that that's suitable for a general audience. And as a father of three...
Which makes it suitable also to send out subconscious messages. All right? Like I said before, when somebody's stuck in a bank that's getting robbed, they do what they can to get attention the best way they can. Something is going on in that Warrior locker room. It will come out.
3 young girls who hopes to get them involved, at least interested, I'm trying, in the NBA, someone to watch the games with.
And that's a major problem that you have amongst American men, them trying to raise their daughters up as boys and as men. That's part of the gender confusion propaganda, the gender confusion modality that's in America. Raise up your girls like they're boys. Raise up your boys like they're girls.
I would hope that I could sit them down and we could watch the post-game presser together, and this kind of language is not suitable for a general audience, particularly for children, and this is family entertainment. So do I think it was good, or am I happy that he used it? No. But is there a double standard, and is that okay? Yes. A separate conversation about the word even used among African-American people and kind of internalizing oppression is a separate conversation.
What's a separate conversation is what the word nigger actually means and where it comes from. And we'll touch on that a little later. But in regards to his statement about certain language and what's suitable for the post-game press conference, there's never a time when, no matter your race, when using language such as that is suitable. You're in your place of business. All right? We're not in the barbershop. We're not chilling. All right? There's a way that you dress and that you speak when you're engaging in business. There's a way that you dress and that you speak for every occasion. When you go to war, you don't wear a business suit. You wear fatigues. All right? When you go to your place of work, you don't wear army fatigues. You wear a business suit. That's common sense. All right? Iguodala is intelligent enough to at least know that. You know, he's vouched by the liberal media that he's an intelligent person. That's why I say something must be going on there. Something is rotten in Denmark, to quote Hamlet.
But as far as this conversation goes, double standard, yup, I'm okay with that. I wish you wouldn't have said it.
You don't have the right to say whether you're okay with that or not. That's for me to say. All right. But what you can say is that he should not have been using any type of non-professional language in that arena. And you can see by his face, he's scared to death. Whenever these type of topics come up, the white liberals, they get scared to death. They just don't want to say the wrong thing. But anyway, we're going to continue this on part 2. Peace.